Hi, and welcome to the second tutorial in the tutorial series Python Basics. In the last tutorial, we downloaded and installed Python on our machine. We verified that it was running. In that time, we got a glimpse of the Python interactive session. That's what we're going to highlight today in this tutorial. The interactive session is a test bed. It allows us to first get comfortable using Python at all, and secondly, it allows us to test out ideas in our code without having to commit them to a big long script that we might have written, or to run a script and see it error and then find the error, etc. We can kind of run some ideas out line by line and make sure that they're going to work before we implement them in our code. A lot of people like this feature. I use it quite often. So the first thing we might want to do then is to set up a shortcut so that we can open up a command window that will allow us to run Python in the folder that we're interested in. So to do that, we're going to right-click on our desktop and select New Shortcut. And then if you copy from the description, you'll copy %windir %/system32/command.exe. That's the command window or the command executable. We'll hit next and we give it a name. So we'll call this my command shortcut. You can call it whatever you want. You might call it command in Python project or something like that. And I'll give it a name, Python project, in case for some reason I have maybe another shortcut that opens it in a different folder. So we'll click finish. And so here's the shortcut we just made. And now we want to go to properties. And what we'll notice is that it says start in. So we don't want it to start there. We want it to start in our home, in the directory that we're interested in. So our particular directory is going to be called c:\\python project. And so now if we click on that, we have a terminal window. It opened in c:\python project. If we type Python, then there it is. It's running on the command line. So now we'll enter a few commands just to get comfortable. So a lot of the beauty of Python is that there's tons of modules and things that other people have written, other codes that people have, and there's a lot that come with Python in general that are extremely useful right off the top. And to use them, we have to import them. So we can just test out and see if we have a few. We can say import sys for system, and all Python versions have that. We can import another one, OS. So those are just the two really quick and easy modules that we can download or that we can import into our system, and now we could use them. So one of the ones that I happen to know, os.system. So I'm going to just say dir. So that's going to say, for the operating system that I'm using, which is Windows, run a system command here at the command line and run that command that I've typed, which is dir. So that's the equivalent on a Linux machine of running ls to list all the files. If I run it, I'm expecting it to display a list of all the files I have in this particular folder. And it did. It shows me the directory of Python project. It's as if I ran the command line and I ran dir while in Windows. So one of the other things that you can do in this interactive session is, if you don't understand something, maybe you want to know about the sys import that you've imported. You can type help. Oops, for some reason I'm off the screen here. Let me just resize. There we go. Help and sys. Put it in parentheses there. And so now we're going to get a help file. And I've copied some of this into the link into the description of this particular tutorial. So if you're following along there, you should see some more than this. Where it says more, there actually is more, and if I type enter, it'll just keep on going. So you can see here module reference, and it gives a link to the documentation for this particular module. And that will be extremely helpful, especially as you get more and more accustomed to using a module like this. As you keep going down, it talks about, you have argv. That's something that you'll use a lot, where sys.argv is something that takes in command line inputs. Usually it's very useful. Path, yeah, just so many things that come from the system import. These are very well used, regularly used things in Python. So if I hit C, Control C there, I can kind of get out of all that. I'm back to the normal command line. And again, if I want to exit, I can just type exit, open close parentheses. What's funny is if I type exit without it, it knows that I want to exit, but it tells me to use exit with open close parentheses or hit Control Z plus return to exit. And so you can do either one to exit. I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial, and hopefully you were able to figure out how to make a shortcut so that you can run Python in the folder that you want to run your Python project in. And we will see you in the next tutorial.